Hey folks, welcome to the weekly wrap up. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at verifiedinvesting.com. What a week it was. Markets trying to trend higher and doing so throughout the week. Many days we started with some early selling and then the float would come in. But today is different and today may be significant. A potential signal that a market is about to top is there. We're going to dive right into it today. So let's take a look at the S&P 500 here. So the S&P 500, guys, this is really important because look at what is going on right now. You hit the high end. So this is, if you've been following my trading game plans in the morning, you know exactly about this wedge pattern, right? I mean, this wedge pattern goes all the way back to October of 2023, connects through the big correction in 2024 to this low in early 2025, right? Now, this is where things get spicy. We ultimately kissed the level here and pulled back, and then look at the high today, right to that line. As soon as we hit that line, we saw major selling come in the markets to the point where we are borderline putting in a topping tail. So not only did we hit the high end, but we could be putting in a bearish reversal candle on the S&P 500. We'll see where it closes in just about 3 minutes time. But this is big, folks. Now, it's not just this. In addition, the QQQ, look at this, guys. The weekly chart on the Qs was trying to break this low from COVID. This is the COVID low on the NASDAQ 100, connecting right through here. Every time it went to this point, it corrected 15%, hit here, fell 26%. Where are we? We're right up there, and the QQQ is negative again today, trying to pull back off this level. So what do we have? We have the NASDAQ and the S&P both at critical levels on the markets. The S&P possibly putting in a topping tail. We now have 2.5 minutes remaining in the trading day. I'm following it into the close because a topping tail from a technician's point of view, from technical analysis, that is significant. Listen, the trend line hit is great on the S&P. That's what we knew was going to be resistance. But if you couple that with a topping tail, it becomes more significant. Now, that's not all, but there's more, folks. We then go into charts like Palantir. Palantir collapsing today. Look at the drop on this. This is a 7% fall. Look at the intraday drop here. This is with after hours data or pre-market data. But look, boom, bear flag and another flush. And now it's selling off into the end of the day. The reason why Palantir is important for us as technicians is that it is one of the momentum stocks. And so while Robinhood today is still up slightly on the day, we're starting to see a crack in the momentum names, right? In fact, NVIDIA, which I wouldn't call it a momentum name, but it is one of the most important ones out there, that also hit a major trend line. So we're just seeing like trend line, major hit, major hit, major hit. All of these other plays are hitting them. Let's go over to this chart. I want to show you this. So Palantir down 7.5% today, right? But look at NVIDIA. This is where things get even more intriguing for me as a technician. On NVIDIA, we'll go to the longer term. So this is going back to your bull market high in 2021. Here's your bull market high in June of 2024. You kissed it in late 2024. You tagged it in 2025. Look at what we just hit. If we go back to the daily chart, this was yesterday. And look at it. All right, now listen. Is there anything that says the market can't break these levels? The answer is no. It could go through. Sure, it could go through. But what are the probabilities? That's what a technician cares about. When you get a topping tail, when you get NVIDIA to be into a major level, when you get the S&P in a major level, when you get the NASDAQ in a major level, when you get Amazon to have broken major support, Netflix breaks major support. Basically, where there's smoke, there's likely fire. And that's something we want to pay attention to. And just to show you some of these charts, right? We just looked at this one, right? This is NVIDIA. But look at Netflix, right? If we bring up Netflix here, NFLX, I mean, this is not a good chart on Netflix. That is not good, folks. That is a breakdown. We go to Meta. Meta's getting smoked again today, down 2.25%. Head and Shoulders has broken down. This is now an in-play Head and Shoulders. Speaking of which, let's go back to the S&P. Is this a topping tail? It certainly looks close. I would have to do a measurement. Oh my goodness, we closed flat on the S&P. S&P up 41 cents. I have to do a measurement. It's so close on whether it fits the criteria for a topping tail or not. I will keep you guys in the loop and find out. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, so I'm not going to, I literally have to do calculations on this. But man, oh man, that is impressive. If it's a topping tail with a hit of this line, I would say by early to mid next week, we could be all the way down here. And then that would be the seventh hit, which is a time count of this wedge pattern. Let's watch, guys. Let's see what happens here. All right. All right. So going back to stocks that are breaking down, we have Netflix. We have Meta. I mean, if you look at other names, I mean, we talk about Broadcom. Broadcom, from the highs on earnings, has come in. Oracle, look at Oracle, just keeps going down. I mean, had this little bounce a few days ago, but this thing's coming down. This was the biggest move up on earnings that we have ever seen on a stock of this magnitude. I've never seen it in my career. No one ever has because it was a first ever, but this is something that is important here. Again, and look at how it's just fading to the downside. Now, we have to look at the SMH. I've talked about this before. What's the crux? What's holding up the market? The answer is the semis. Where the semis go, the markets follow. That's an adage that I was told 25, 26 years ago when I started trading, and it's true to this very day. So let's look. We looked at NVIDIA. We already know NVIDIA is into resistance. What is the SMH doing here? Look at this. So SMH was down. No big deal. SMH was down $1.51 today. Not even 0.5%. Literally nothing to write home about based on percentages. But to me, is this a significant trend line? Bull market high of 2021 to the bull market highs in 2024. Then we had the big correction. Look at what we just tagged. I don't know. Again, breadcrumbs, smoke, there's fire. You could use a million analogies. To me, if there's going to be a top in the market with complacency and the VIX. Now, I will show you one thing that I was not happy about today. Okay? The VXX, I love it. It's a great downsloping wedge. It literally was trying to break out today. I want to show you this, guys. Now, listen, it's not the VIX, but it's close enough. It's for us that trade ETFs. This is about as close as we get. Look at this. Here's your wedge. These wedges are very powerful when they break out. Like literally the VXX should go above 40 when it breaks out. Was this a breakout today? I don't know. I mean, it's right there. I mean, you could say, oh, it looks like it closed a fraction above. It might, or is my line fractionally off, right? So as a technician, as someone who's drawing trend lines on a chart, I hate when things are so close because, well, what if I made a slight, what if I just drew it here, right? So when it's an obvious close above or below, it's like, well, duh. I mean, even if my trend line's off slightly, it's still an obvious breakout, right? But here, I would have rather have seen a more obvious signal in the VXX. I still think it's breaking out. This is a bullish pattern on the VXX, but ultimately we got to see, can it follow through on Monday? Let's see what happens on Monday. Now, one of the stocks, the momentum stocks that has not faded yet is this one right here, Robinhood. But look at Robinhood. I mean, again, low pivot here from April. This is the April 7th low. This the big sell-off because of tariffs, Liberation Day, etc. To this low here, high, and look at what we hit today. All right, now just based on technical analysis, what should happen here? We should at least have some sort of pullback. Now, will we have something like Palantir where it drops 7% in a day? The way this has gone up, it wouldn't shock me one bit. Would not shock me one bit at all. Wild stuff, guys. Fun stuff, in fact. I love this. This is where, for me as a technician, I love it because it's exciting. Like the ability to put odds in your favor and look at all of the breadcrumbs and kind of connect the dots. It's empowering. I don't have to go to CNBC. I don't have to go to Bloomberg. I don't have to go to Fox Business and be like, oh, what are these guys saying, right? Especially when, have you guys noticed how all these analysts are coming out right now and upgrading like every stock that's already at all-time highs? They're like, oh, well, we got to raise it to, this much higher, like way higher. Don't be fooled by that. All right. There's something called institutional want for exit liquidity. Well, how do they get you? Well, they tell you it's going up another $300 and you're like, oh, well, I should buy it then. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled and you're like, oh, what happened? Well, thank you very much. You were the exit liquidity for those institutional money managers. Thank you. That was very kind of you to put your money and lose all that money for us. And again, I'm not an institutional guy. I'm literally trade my own capital for myself, but I'm telling you what is going on here. Be suspect when you get upgrades at highs, at all-time highs on stocks. Be suspect, All right. It's usually a top. I've seen it for 26 years in trading. All right. Back to the charts we go. Let's go on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, remember, if it confirmed above that 118,000 level, what did I say it was going to do? Go to all-time highs. It isn't at all-time highs, but it's pretty darn close. Closed above, confirmed, boom. We got very close. Technically, I haven't been right yet because it didn't make a new all-time high, but that's one heck of a move on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin goes up here unless, I mean, listen, if it fails, that's bad, but I still think 126, 127 is probably your upside target on that. Gold. Gold confirmed above the parallel channel. So what do we know? The parallel channel now, this upper line becomes major support. Yesterday it fell, bounced, today up again today. Now it didn't make a new all-time high today, so let's keep that in mind. But until it, if it breaks below and confirms back below, okay, then it favors the downside. As long as it stays above this yellow line and doesn't confirm below, guess what? It's got upside bias. And that's just probability. It has nothing to do with how I'm positioned. It's just like, that's what the charts tell me. Like, listen, sometimes I'm like, hey guys, this chart just turned bullish today, and I might be short something that's relative to that. That's my problem. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what the charts are saying, right? It's a probability game, and from day to day, things can switch, and they do switch oftentimes. All right, my goal is just to listen. I'm going to be wrong 20, 30% of the time. I want to be wrong I want to be right 70 to 80% of the time. But again, the charts, when they change, I'm going to tell you straight up, no sugarcoating. It is what it is. All right. So again, I honestly, I thought we'd pull back off of this level. Instead, closed above, confirmed, and even the retrace held, which is what it's supposed to do once it confirms. And now it's pushing up. Now, if it ever breaks here, that's a very big negative sign, but it hasn't done that yet. Silver. You guys know what's been my upside target on silver? 48 to 50 bucks. Guess what? We made a new high on silver today, going to 48.37. I wouldn't be surprised if early next week it tags 50 bucks. Then I start to think it probably is due for a pullback off a double top. That would be a technical double top. Oil today, we know we filled the gap yesterday. Did it get a bounce? I mean, I don't know. It was earlier, but it basically is flat. That's not a very strong performance at gap fill here. That's not a good sign for oil. Now, listen, it still could bounce Monday or Tuesday, but overall, I still think, I mean, the chart on oil is not a great chart right now. It is not a great chart. Natural gas, let's take a look at nat gas real quick. Nat gas, you can see these trend lines. High pivot down here, low pivots right through here. X marked the spot, reversed. I did give that 360 level here. It even went a little higher to this next level. But look, you saw the pullback today. Now, again, I'm still not in a trade on oil. I have no trade on nat gas right now. I'm just being patient, but certainly something I want to just continue to pay attention to overall. But wow, this market, folks, I'll tell you, kind of boring early in the week. You think, well, the government shut down. We're not going to get the jobs data. It's going to be blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden today, things got spicy. My eyes opened wide and my ears perked up with the market in the trading afternoon today. It was so interesting because usually, I mean, all week, like afternoons have been dead, floating. And then all of a sudden today, get ready. And listen, maybe there's nothing there. Like I said, probability, there's always a certain probability. Markets ignore it. We go back to floating up next week. We'll find out. But there's certainly some signals here. All right, there's certainly some technicals that I'm paying attention to. All right, I got to get going, guys. You guys are rock stars. Thank you. Please share this with your friends and family. If you found it useful, please, that's all I ask. I'll share all my information in here. I just want you guys to share these broadcasts, enlighten them. Don't make them, basically, waiting on the sidelines for CNBC, right? Don't let them do that. Instead, what I want you guys to do is give them the good stuff. I try to bring my A game every single time, and I hope you guys feel like I am doing that. Doesn't mean I'm always right, remember, but I'll just always give you my blatant, straight-up opinions. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks again, guys, for supporting us here at verifiedinvesting.com. Take care.